Motherfucker, get the fuck in here. Make me happy. Dance. Do something.
Gonzo, I'm... Oh.
Are you upset about Donald Trump and fucking D's nuts and all that shit?
No, it's far from it. I'm going to have to ask to speak unhindered and uninterrupted for just a minute or two. Is everybody sitting down?
How about I go make something to eat and I'll just let you, like, go crazy.
I'm gonna need everybody.
Wait, somebody says that the audio keeps cutting out. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Was it still recording?
I'm gonna take a quick look. Hang on, why is that thing on here?
Don't mind the barking, it's just the dogs on my end.
It lost internet connection, but the local MP3 is trying to record. Should we even fucking continue?
What do you mean?
I mean, Jesus! It seems that this problem is being caused because everybody's trying to watch the little clips because of how shitty the local weather is. I mean, I don't blame them. It's too fucking cloudy, and I can't see shit.
I prefer to soldier on, even then. I don't know.
Well, the MP3 is still recording, so I'm just gonna fucking let go, and I'll just tell people wait until they upload on YouTube at least. I'll just go find something to eat. You go nuts.
Okay. Oh dear Lord. Hello.
You done?
I don't know. I seem to be getting no response from anything again.
I was just hoping you would just go apeshit until you feel satisfied.
Oh dear Lord.
I don't know why, but it seems that you want to get it out of the way, but live stream is saying no, and I'm getting furious. We could just record it just privately off of Skype and just fucking re-upload that shit.
I don't know. Do you think it matters? I don't know. Why don't we just do our thing? The people will be able to see it anyway, so...
I doubt, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, have I got...
It's still recording on the local MP3, so...
Okay, let's just start from the top. I have composed myself. Have I got your attention for whoever else is still watching this?
It still says lost internet connection, but you still got my attention, because obviously it's not my connection. Something's wrong with the fucking live stream server, and when this goes up on YouTube, hopefully some people will be paying attention then.
Okay, where do I start? I can safely say that I am a gentleman of a logical sort, or semi-logical anyways.
Yeah, I was about to say, logical? Motherfucker, you're about as insane as I am.
In my time spent in this fandom, I've come to expect and see a lot of things. I've seen a small unicorn sprout wings after finishing a magical spell and become a princess. I've seen that same unicorn do battle with a giant magic-eating centaur in a Dragon Ball Z style fight, no less, and somehow still emerge a victor because rainbow power. I've seen a pink, hyperactive horse basically shatter the fourth wall as we know it,
frequently,
and everybody just comes to enjoy it. I've come to see a lot of things. I've come to see that very same alicorn princess travel to a magical mirror, and become a human, and do battle with a fucking demon of all things. I've come to see a lot of things in this fandom, and, well, I've come to expect the unexpected, and that's how it's been. My time as a brony in this fandom has been rather nice, so it's been really nice, and I thought I'd be able to handle it all.
But I guess,
Until last night, When a film that many of Brony alike have been preparing themselves for this whole time came and questioned that logic.
Easy does it there, Jesus. I know we're still privately recording, but Jesus, act civil here for fuck's sake.
I thought I was ready. I thought that I'd seen everything. After seeing all the trailers and the teasers and the clips and the slightly spoilerific stuff, I thought I was tempered for this. I thought I was ready. But no. What I saw last night is far beyond anything that I expected. I thought that I was ready. But no. I stuck it out. What?
You're fucking scaring me right now. You're acting like Russell Howard when he saw that fucking anti-speeding advert from Ireland. He was freaking the fuck out.
Let me finish, okay? Hang on a sec. Just let me finish. Okay, I thought that I was ready. I thought I could take it, but what I witnessed last night was far beyond anything that I could have expected, and I'm just gonna come out with it right now. What I saw last night, and I'm telling you this right now, face to face, honestly, was one of the greatest pieces of animation that I've ever seen, at least in my opinion, and I loved it! Okay, I'm done. I think I've made my point.
Let me toss you a bad thing. I ended up seeing this message as soon as the movie concluded that someone else said, "It's shit!"
Oh. Opinions will be opinions. Let them think what they like. But
Yeah.
I need to tell you that what I watched last night far surpassed, in my opinion at least, its predecessors. Went the fucking distance and turned out to be awesome.
And it seems like we're back on stream. It says it's perfectly streaming right now. The full thing will be uploaded on YouTube, by the way, guys, if you missed it. It was still privately recording on the local MP3. So, yeah, I hope it still is okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is overtime. I'm about to... Why don't I just bring in my cohorts and we'll fucking... You'll see what I mean. Oh my fucking god, I had to get that out just so that I could better compose myself.
Here's hoping that things will fucking go well. If not, it'll just be up on YouTube in full. Hopefully the MP4 won't include the interruptions.
Okay, gentlemen, I believe it's that time now. Oh, dear sweet Jesus. Gentlemen,
I guess my better hang on.
we have one. Where's the other one?
Right here.
I'm here.
Oh,
There we go. Everyone's
ladies
here.
and gentlemen, you already know Awesome Casey. Joining this
Great Casey.
stream for the first time, we have another friend of mine and also fellow supporter of many of my projects, Mr. West Coast Psycho.
AKA Edgy Scout with a stupid mad eye from a freaking NG.
I think, Shadow, has my old username pretty much grown you that much?
It's what I've used to. I'm gonna have to start calling it
Brief is not a good
I'm
thing.
Used to it.
Brief is not a good thing. Awesome is better.
I thought Awesome sounded narcissistic.
Anyways,
just
Well,
we're still
to be fair,
recording it privately, so
Yeah,
if the stream does not show up, it will still be on YouTube either way. So there you go.
hopefully
So what are
it
you
will still
saying,
be.
Gonzo?
In some
yes,
ways you are. In some ways you are at least awesome.
I have brought
Yeah.
Psycho and Casey here to join me because, right, frankly, I can't do this alone. Yes, if the rambling before did not mean anything, I'm, of course, speaking about last night's premiere of Equestria Girls, The Friendship Games.
And yeah, can I say something?
Go on, I've already spoken my piece, so fucking...
Man, my reaction to lots of things were like a variety of things, but there was one thing that stood out because I heard something about like the whole Midnight Sparkle thing like a while before,
we'll
but
get to that
everything
in a
else,
moment.
yeah. But everything else that happened in the movie, it made me forget about that. And then when we did get to that part in a moment, this was pretty much my reaction. At one point.
Yeah, so... I've
that
already
was a
said I've already shown my hand early and said this thing is a fucking amazing, is awesome, and it surpassed its predecessors. So Okay, where the fuck do I even start on this whole thing? Just
I already know where
You're
you
a
want to start,
clusterfuck.
and it's with you know who, your
yeah.
little alpha.
Okay, so
Oh yeah.
I have,
Now-
as with Rainbow Rocks, I have many things to discuss about this, but the first and foremost thing that I need to dive into and discuss is Midnight. And I don't call her Alpha anymore, I call her Midnight now. I'll get to why the people
Can I like have this on the record?
Go on.
Maybe you should have stuck with your first suspicions from the first instance you tried to theorize about that.
I'll let me explain. I know I was in the wrong this whole time. I'll explain it. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the character of Midnight, as I call her, aka the human Twilight Sparkle. So, for those who do not know, yes, Midnight is one of the focal points of the whole thing of the Friendship Games. Basically, for those who didn't see the precursor to this movie, that was Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks, in short, there was a post-credit scene at the end of that movie which basically showed that the human world actually does have their own Twilight Sparkle, and she is completely obsessed with the magical goings-on that has been happening at Camelot High School. That is, the events transpiring from Sunset Satan and the Sirens, I should say.
Yeah, both of those individual problems.
And, well, as it turns out, that little end credit scene actually had continuity, because, as I said, Midnight, I'm going to keep calling her Midnight, call her Human Twilight if you wish, I don't know. Midnight is really the focal point of this movie. Well, besides another character, Sarah Psycho. But anyways, Midnight is basically going to another high school in the human world, that high school being Crystal Prep. Spoilers, I should probably point out. Yes, Midnight does have a brother, and that brother is actually the human world's equivalent of Shining Armor.
I keep seeing Cadence there, so
Yes,
is he
Dean-
dating her?
She looks kind of weird.
Dean Cadence. And Dean Cadence, I will have to say, does look kind of weird as a human, but I kind of like the design. But going back to Midnight, in short, as I've said, she is obsessed with finding out what exactly is going on with this magical occurrence at Camelot High School. In fact, she actually comes pretty close to opening the portal, and it was only Sunset Shimmer's last-minute interference that chased her off, and the whole gist of it is that she has a pendant-like device, which she engineered herself, I should add, which she says can, and I quote, track and capture the bizarre energies at Camelot High School. And she's doing this for the purpose because, well, going to what Gonzo said that I should have stuck to my first suspicions, she's an outcast. A total, completely outcast, fish out of water loner. Even the song that she has basically drives that point home, because she is basically looked down upon by everybody at Crystal Prep, including one major antagonist that I'll also cover in just a second. But yes, Midnight is trying to get her research known as so she can get into some sort of high prestige study group or whatever it was. And she does have a dog like our Princess Twilight. And this leads me to the film's actual villain, not Midnight, but the one and only Principal Abacus Singe of Crystal Prep.
I ended up looking her up. She looks like a
stereotype.
old school teacher stereotype.
I also, before I go on any further, I can't have been the only one who noticed that her name is kind of a play on Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird.
I was about to say that because I read that book in high school.
Yeah, that sounded familiar.
Well, freshman year, I mean.
So yes, Principal Cinch is the leader, as it were, of Crystal Prep, and every 4 years, I should say, they lead against Camelot High in the aforementioned Friendship Games, and every 4 years they win. And apparently that's because, as Principal Cinch says, they need to hold their quote-unquote reputation, and that's where Midnight comes.
No. It's reputation.
You get the idea.
What reputation?
Like I said, the Crystal Prep Shadow Bolts win the Friendship Games every year, and they always seem to rub it into the face of Camelot High every time.
That's not reputation, that's being a total dick.
But yes, Principal Cinch decides that Midnight is going to compete at the Friendship Games this year, and she puts it all on the line, saying if she doesn't compete at all, she'll cut off her independent study program. So yeah, being a total bitch and blackmail for kids, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I kind of figured that Midnight wasn't really bad. Just really misunderstood and obviously pressured.
Yes, because for those who haven't seen the past two discussions I've had about the friendship games, when I first referred to Midnight as Alpha, I was under the impression she was hiding something more sinister, because as I said, that pendant of hers was able to track and capture magic, essentially. So I kind of figured that she would kind of use it to cheat somehow. And as Gonzo said, I was proven wrong. Because throughout the entire film, I probably should have say, yes, there are spoilers ahead, so I probably should have said this first, but fuck it. So yes, throughout the entire film, when she first arrives at Canterlot High, everybody thinks that she is Princess Twilight, and nobody seems to question why their Princess Twilight suddenly has her hair in a different style, has a different uniform, and is now wearing glasses. Even Flash fucking Sentry thinks she's Princess Twilight, and
Who takes one hell of a back seat compared to the other two movies.
Yeah.
But yes. Oh. Throughout the entire film, we see that Midnight unintentionally ends up sucking up the magic from the main seven. And that is due to the fact that the human main seven now can pony up without having to play their instruments. They can just do it at random now, as it's later explained near the end, spoilers, that they pony up when their element comes into question. So, rarity, generosity, Pinkie Pie laughter, yada yada yada. We all know the drill there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, wait, wasn't it Pinkie that basically clued in everyone that it wasn't their Twilight?
Yes. Once again, in kind of a similar vein from the first Equestria Girls, and Pinkie Pie just comes right out and fully figures out that, yes, Twilight is in fact a pony princess from Equestria, and she was here to stop Sunset Shimmer from using her element of magic and the crown. We're here in the friendship games. Once again, Pinkie Pie explains that, yes, Midnight is not our Twilight. She is the Twilight in this world, and goes to Crystal Prep, and you get the idea.
And everybody still continued on with the impression that she's still Princess Twilight.
Well, they do figure it out after Pinkie says it, but
yeah.
It's Midnight is kind of the one thing about this whole movie that broke it. Well, not broke it, made the movie for me, and probably made it for a lot of other people who watched it. Because Midnight, the interactions between Midnight and both Principal Cinch and Sunset Shimmer are kind of what make this movie kind of enjoyable. Even if I, as I'm Shadow said to me, admitted, if you want to technically speak about it, the whole entire plot of the Friendship Games is basically a kind of a role reversal of the very first Equestria Girls, because instead of Twilight Sparkle pursuing a bitter Sunset Shimmer to get her crown back, here in the Friendship Games it's basically a reformed Sunset Shimmer against a bumbling yet kind of unintentionally fucking the world over Midnight. And
a role reversal, if you should call it.
Yeah.
That's what I said, yes. So Midnight, throughout the entire film, is basically using that pendant of hers to basically track all the magic that is near Canterlot High, and unfortunately, said magic happens to come from all the main seven, because the pendant starts going nuts and starts sucking up their magic abilities, and in one instance even manages to suck up the magic, keeping the portal between Equestria and the human world open, sealing it.
Yeah, that part confused me a bit. Did she get the portal, or did she get the portal and Shimmer?
From what I saw, it actually could have been both. Because Sunset was touching the portal when Midnight's pendant was acting up. But it's actually... Oh, dear God. It's when Midnight's pendant sucks up the magic from the portal that shit really starts to go nuts. Because again, major spoiler territory, once she sucks up the portal magic, rifts into Equestria start popping up everywhere.
Oh, great. Now we're merging two freaking different dimensions altogether.
And it all goes on this...
And it keeps going. You watch as Midnight is forced to sit back as her pendant, as her dream of learning about this magic going on at Canterlot High starts to blow up in her face, essentially. You watch as the main seven continue to lose their magic to this pendant, and the rifts start to get even more unstable, and everything starts to go fucking nuts. And at the end of it all, when Principal Cinch finally discovers this whole magic thing and forces her to use it against Canterlot High to win the friendship games, and she opens the pen and unleashes the magic and everything goes fucking nuts.
Warning people, Shadow's about to lose it.
That's when you realize this whole thing is totally
Explosion,
fucked.
3, 2,
Oh my god. You feel genuinely terrible for Midnight. Because you see just how much of an outcast she is and how misunderstood she is. And even the Human Seven, even though they're against her, they realize just how that she doesn't mean to suck up all this magic, that she doesn't know what she's messing with. Even when Sunset Shimmer basically yells at her goddamn face that she doesn't know what she's dealing with, you feel terrible for Midnight because you sympathize with her, and it's something that I should have done from the very fucking start. Instead, I should have directed my ramblings towards this Principal Cinch character and not Midnight. And
I gave you 24 hours, and you're still this clusterfuck of a nervous wreck.
I can't help it, okay? I'm realizing that I was in the wrong this whole time about Midnight.
Jesus, you were pretty much being a Canterlot High student without even realizing it.
It's, oh my god. And as I said, it just keeps spiraling out of control. You see how the magic rifts continue to get worse. At one point, during one of the events of the Friendship Games, when Midnight loses the pendant and it opens another rift to the Everfree Force, I'm assuming, it all goes nuts, and Rainbow Dash is forced, the Human Seven are forced to use their magic pony-up abilities to basically stop the rifts from spiraling out of control. It's only the last-minute intervention of Sunset Shimmer and Rainbow Dash that causes the Everfree Force to go back and not totally eat everybody.
That was crazy.
And in the end, spoilers, once again, I know I keep saying that, but in the end, yes, Principal Cinch discovers that Midnight's pendant is sucking up all the magic after she witnesses the aforementioned rift to the Everfree Forest nearly eating her students, and it leads to possibly one of the greatest villain songs ever, and I'm going to cover music after I'm done with everything else. And you see how Midnight is forced to basically give in to the urge, into her urges to learn about the magic. How she thinks it all depends on her to win the Friendship Games, and she opens the pen and then lets the magic out, and you see her basically scream for help, and oh my god, you feel worse. And then you see how the magic corrupts her much like it did with Sunset Shimmer, and oh my god, when you see her final form, Midnight fucking Sparkle, oh dear god, you feel terrible because you know that she was forced to this point. And oh my god almighty, Midnight, I'm so fucking sorry.
Are you done?
Also, apparently, magic turns you good or evil depending on what you're supposed to be. But
yeah,
considering what the hell was going on, I have no idea why it turned her evil.
But
yeah, I just wanted to add on the fact that when she was being sucked in by the magic sphere, even I felt, I was like, oh, it just made me go holy shit inside, because you can just hear it. I mean, I think I saw even some, I don't know if it was just my eyes messing with me, but some little burn or whatever, smoke marks coming out of her hand a bit as she was being sucked in there, but you know what I mean.
When you see her struggling against the magic vortex, excuse me as I turn my fan on, when you see her getting sucked into the vortex of magic, her pendant is sucked up, and you see her scream for help and reach out for somebody, desperate to be freed, and then you see her transform into Midnight Sparkle. Oh my god. And it doesn't help that, yes, she becomes all-powerful. She starts breaking everything. She basically starts shattering the boundaries between the human world, and Equestria. You see rifts everywhere. She opens up the rifts to Equestria. She becomes determined in her corrupted state to learn about the magic in Equestria and eat it all for herself. And it's only the interference again of Sunset Shimmer destroying the pendant and becoming Daydream fucking Shimmer, an alicorn Princess Seraph goddess thing.
That's still a stupid name.
And then the final battle between the two of them is some Dragon Ball Z level shit. And then the whole resolvement comes, and you just can't believe what you just watched. And Midnight is really, again, Midnight is one of the main reasons you are going to want to keep watching the friendship games, just to see exactly how her situation with this whole magic studying business will end. And oh my god, I loved it.
Wish they had that little scene a little longer.
Oh goodness.
Maybe it's longer than the Blu-ray.
I don't know. I will find out.
I did hear that in the middle of next month there will be a release of a DVD supposedly. That's what everybody that's what somebody kept telling me, but I don't know. But yeah,
Midnight is one of the reasons you're going to want to keep watching this movie, because her interactions with everybody, primarily Cinch and Sunset Shimmer, they're just, again, it maybe. Even if the story is kind of basically similar to the first Equestria Girls, it's still good.
Yeah, but Sunset Shimmer was doing it all by herself.
She even directly says that when she's talking to Midnight Sparkle. She explains how basically she let the magic corrupt her and what it did to her. And then she turns into her Seraph form and she fights Midnight Sparkle. She offers her hand in friendship to her. And you feel warm inside. You can feel it. Casey can vouch for me on that one.
So
yeah,
the magic.
definitely.
She let the magic corrupt her. Okay, that explains it.
Yeah, because I was a bit confused about how, like, Sunset was, became Daydream Shimmer, and yet Twilight became that. I mean, Midnight became that insane she-demon.
You can use she-demon since Sunset referred to herself as that at one point in Rainbow Rocks.
Well, you get the idea.
So yes, Midnight ultimately, in the end, she realizes that she was far misled in her pursuit of learning about magic. So basically, in the end, Sunset and the Human Seven take her in. She ends up dropping her study program herself and transferring to Canterlot High. So really, it's a happy ending for everybody, obviously. And
except for Crystal Prep.
Again, in the end, Cinch concedes and they agree to call the whole games a tie between Canterlot High and Crystal Prep.
Cinch doesn't concede; she rage quits.
Yeah, but on top of that, not before she got completely wrecked by the three human versions of the princesses.
Completely wrecked. But yes,
air horns.
It turns out to be a happy ending for everybody, and honestly, I can say Midnight has become one of my favorite characters. She is right up there now with Sunny and Magic Horse, aka Trixie.
You forgot a bit.
You can't have, for Shadow, you can't have mention of favorite horses without the mention of Trixie.
Of course.
Who was kind of absent this film.
Honestly, hey, you were talking about your son butt being teased at this whole time. You don't see me complaining about a lack of Trixie in this movie.
She'll probably be in there when the DVD comes out, because it's always happened twice. It always happened with Equestria Girls, and it happened with Rainbow Rocks. They were full theatrical releases, yet they cut out a lot when they aired it on TV. It wouldn't be surprising if the DVD comes out and they showed a lot more that the TV couldn't cover.
Okay, so that is Midnight. That is the character of Midnight for you. I've covered her, and I've covered the story. What about everything else? What about the rest of the characters, specifically the Human Seven and Sunset Shimmer? Well, much like Rainbow Rocks, Sunset Shimmer is another of the main focal points of this whole shebang, and another of the reasons you're going to want to keep watching, as Psycho can vouch for me.
Oh yeah.
Sunset Shimmer, as throughout this entire film, as I've previously mentioned in one of my other discussions, don't mind the dogs, she basically has been tasked with keeping magic out of the friendship game so it doesn't look like Canterlot High School is cheating. Because as it turns out, between films it seems that, yes, now everybody seems to realize that Sunset is a pony from another world. And that her
Nothing
magical...
unusual about that.
Yeah. So throughout the entire film, as with Alpha trying to find the magic, Sunset is trying to figure it out, as in figure out why the Human Seven can suddenly pony up at random without playing their instruments anymore. And she desperately tries to reach out to Twilight because she still has that book we saw in Rainbow Rocks, and her messages don't seem to be getting through until the very end, which I'll also cover when I'm done talking about everything else. And speaking of which, one other thing I should mention: Midnight Sparkle. It took me a moment to realize this. Midnight Sparkle is Brutalite.
God damn it! We were supposed to save that.
I didn't fucking know, but I should have said it before. And yes, Midnight Sparkle looks exactly like fucking Brutalite, or almost so.
How can you guys fucking predict Brutalite?
Should I just link it now?
Well, since we can't really do much because once again the lunar eclipse is fucking up with the stream, the Brutalite what is it, Brutalite? I'll try to see if I can just put an image on her.
No, I made a comic.
Oh, if you want me to, I'll link it when I upload this to YouTube. You can link it in this.
Sure.
You can link it in the chat, and I'll post it up in the description.
Here, have fun with this.
Yeah. He basically made a little thing catering to the fact that we both recognize the fact that Midnight Sparkle looks exactly like fucking Brutalite. And it took me like an hour or so after I finished watching the movie to kind of realize that, and I still can't believe it. But yeah, that's really the only other thing I have to say concerning the character of Midnight. Now, going back to Sunset, I kind of lost my train of thought. Where was I on Sunset Shimmer?
She was trying to contain magic.
Oh yes, throughout the entire film, as Alpha is trying to find the magic and try to contain it, Sunset is trying to better understand it. She constantly tries to write to Princess Twilight, but after the portal magic is sucked up, she kind of starts losing hope. And it's only after the end. I'll cover that in a moment. Really, the interactions between Sunset and Midnight they're kind of, like I said, it's a role reversal of Sunset and Twilight from the first Equestrian Girls. It is almost mirror image, as I've said.
Yeah, that's what actually kind of hit me. Like, that's what kind of, I'm thinking my mind's too good with the wording, but I think that showed the most for me when Midnight got corrupted by the magic. It just basically hit me like a train.
I had heard of the Midnight Sparkle thing beforehand. I genuinely didn't know what to expect. But when I saw it was her, another goddamn she-demon, I couldn't fucking believe it. And I felt terrible for her. That she was essentially pushed to this point, and I'm going to have to stop fucking talking about it, or else I'm going to lose my shit again.
I think you might as well.
Yeah.
Oh dear God. Anyways, so basically, all the characters retain their personalities from the first two films. So Fluttershy is still Fluttershy, Pinky is still Pinky, and really,
nothing much else.
Nothing much has changed about them. But what makes them more enjoyable in the friendship game is the fact that even they start to realize that Midnight is not who she thinks she is. At one point, Applejack, when Midnight is struggling in one of the events, Applejack just basically says "fuck it," runs over and helps Midnight, and helps Midnight's team get through it, or Midnight's portion of the event, anyways. And this is only moments before her pendant starts going ape shit and opening rifts again. So irony.
Yeah. Also, there was also when Fluttershy, when Fluttershy showed her animals to Midnight. She basically let Midnight hold one of her rabbits, Angel, essentially. But then Fluttershy ponied up and the amulet, pendant, what you get the idea. The pendant sucked up Fluttershy's magic, and then again, kind of a minor kind of thing here. Spike, that is Midnight Spike, ends up throwing through one of the rifts and gets zapped, and then we have the human world Spike able to talk now. So figure that out. Anyways,
I wonder what it's saying now. What the hell just happened?
Okay, see, you were saying?
Yeah, I don't mean to go off track, but I might have to ditch early because it turns out there's things going on my end, and I probably won't be able to stay here much
You'll be
longer.
able to press on without you, so...
We just won't be
All right,
able to read the
everything's
fanfic
fine.
because of the interruptions.
Thanks for. It's been nice being with you guys. So.
Yeah.
Of course. Anyways, so yes.
Also, I'll see you all later.
Alright, so...
Alright.
Okay, I've covered Midnight, I've covered Sunset Shimmer, I've covered everything else. Okay, music. Here's where I get to kind of go nuts again, because once more, Daniel Ingram has given me another reason to shell out my heart and soul to DHX and Hasbro, because once again, the music in this movie is stellar. Like, as I previously mentioned, once again, as Psycho and I have come to know, the title for Best Villain Song throughout this entire goddamn trilogy has been dethroned and given to the honor of Principal Cinch's song Unleash the Magic. Oh dear sweet Jesus, unleash the magic. God damn, that song was ever fucking chilling. And all the other songs, honestly, it's kind of like the first Equestria Girls. It's kind of sort of a mixed bag. Like there's only one song throughout the entire thing that I didn't like. Well, actually, like with the first Equestria Girls, there is one song that wasn't as strong as the others. But other than that, with Unleash the Magic and the CHS Rally song leading the pack, the music and score is once again amazing, and once again Daniel Ingram outdid himself. And there's actually one other song that I missed on the soundtrack, which I would assume would have been playing over the credits. I'm going to have to listen to that. So
It'll probably be in the credits of the DVD release. So
yeah, I'm trying to think now. Is there anything else that I can talk about with this goddamn thing? And I'm not thinking of anything else. I've covered.
I think you covered
Cadence?
Yeah.
I've talked about Cadence. I've covered all my grievances. I've talked about Cinch. I've talked about the story.
Characters?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so there aren't that many background appearances this time. I mean, like, once again, we do have Flash Sentry. He appears all of 2 times in the entire movie, or well, 3 or 4 times if you count the CHS Rally song.
That's still 3 or 4 times too many for some people.
I was talking more about Crystal Prep. There was like at least like 4.
Oh yes,
faces.
some of
Like,
we have the usual appearances from characters like Octavia and Derpy and Trixie and Lyra and Bon Bon. They actually are 2 of the people who think Midnight is Princess Twilight. But over on Crystal Prep's side, I was able to recognize fucking a humanized version of Suri Polymer. Remember the bitch from Gravity Takes Manhattan?
Yep.
And the human Trenderhoof, of all things.
Trender? Oh, I thought her name was Fleur de Slee or something.
I'm talking about Trenderhoof from...
Sweet and Elite? Sweet and Elite?
No. What was that episode?
Oh, Trenderhoof, right? The one where Rarity was falling in love with him, but he was falling in love with Applejack.
Applejack. I know that was from season 4. I can't remember the episode off the top of my head.
Actually, I do not
I
remember.
think it's
Simple Ways.
Yes.
Simple Ways. That was it. So
Wait,
yeah, human Trenderhoof, human Suri. Now, yes. Going back to the characters for a moment. The Crystal Prep Shadow Bolts, basically, well, the main ones that we essentially see, are all basically polar opposites to the Counterlot High Human 7. So we have one Sour Sweet, who is basically the counterpart to... Well, basically each of the Shadow Bolts are polar opposite to each of the Human 7. So there's one for Pinkie Pie, one for Fluttershy, one for Rarity, Applejack. You get the idea.
Yeah.
And, well... Again, because they're polar opposites, they don't really have that much character to... Like, one of the only things I can kind of complain about the French game is that the Shadow Bolts aren't really fleshed out that much. Like, oh, this one is a polar opposite to Pinkie Pie, this one's the opposite to Applejack, and that's it, really. I mean, the only...
This is the definition of one... This is like one... I don't know what the word is, but...
One-dimensional?
Yeah, there it is, that's it.
like a shadow, really.
The only one of the Shadow Bolts that stood out for me was Sour Sweet, and that's only because she's fucking nuts. Literally the definition of bipolar. One moment she's sour, then the next she's sweet. She's like a fucking humanized version of a fucking Sour Patch Kid.
Jesus, I saw those
Lipstick
commercials.
Sour.
And that's putting it lightly, believe it or not. So yeah, that's honestly, I can't think of anything else to talk about. This movie was amazing, and if given the chance, I would totally watch it again. And that's probably the reason I'm going to fucking buy the Equestria Girls 3 DVD box set, so that I can at least have all 3 films to treasure and maybe rewatch at some point. Because I actually did end up rewatching the first 2 Equestria Girls films before watching the Friendship Games, and once again, the third movie vastly surpassed them. It went right out of the charts and surpassed Rainbow fucking Rocks, which is something I thought was impossible, but then I was proven wrong when this movie came out. And holy shit, I need to calm down because I'm starting to lose my shit again, but you get the idea. If you haven't seen this movie, watch it. You will not regret it, and if you don't like it, then, well, you know, that's your opinion. I'm not going to stop you. But for everyone else, you're going to love this movie. And if there are any more Equestria Girls films, I don't care at this point. I would watch them, probably, but nothing in this great goddamn green planet is going to top Friendship Games.
I will only want another Equestria Girls if it still builds up on Shimmer.
Yeah, so I think I've talked about this movie enough.
I think we might as well just conclude it, because I think you've covered a lot of ground, and it's kind of pointless. Yeah. It's kind of pointless to try to continue on with the fanfic anyway, because, well, Casey had to go, and yeah.
I was hoping to continue
and the eclipse,
but oh well, maybe another day, I guess.
Yeah, here, Gonzo, have a bonus duck.
A bonus duck? Son of a bitch!
Yeah, here's hoping that at some point we get some more Gmod and SFM Equestria Girls. I'm still holding out for those goddamn Dazzlings.
Actually, a fun fact.
Can I say something for the record?
Go on.
That fucking Phoenix Seraphim bullshit. She stole that from a fucking Toho character, the damn bitch. She stole it from a fucking immortal girl who can summon fire and be able to sprout wings and shit. Yes, I'm still on Toho. Fuck that. Fuck you. I do what I want.
Okay, I think we're going to call it a night. I need to take a chill pill now because I've said all that I have to said. I feel a lot better now. I'm probably going to have to go save up for that. I'm going to go track down that box set. I'm going to go buy it, and I'm going to be even more happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I doubt if it's going to be available right now. Like I said, somebody told me that they might.
So.
Yeah, they're planning on one mid-October.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Shadow said, like, he the moment I show him my comic, he says, "Hey, I just have this idea. I'm going to take your comic and remake it by not giving you any credit."
I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, you were still broken just hours after the movie.
I will have.
You're still broken now, actually.
Honestly, yes. And now, at least I can finally have my piece with the character of Midnight, but now with one chapter closed, another remains open, and that is with that goddamn Starlight.
All will be revealed in due time. All will be revealed in due time.
Oh, by the way, I totally almost forgot about this. Speaking of the future of the Equestria Girls, the post-credits scene kind of maybe revealed something.
There was a post-credit?
Yes.
Want me to link it to him?
Allow me, I will explain. Major spoilers here. At the very end, when we see Midnight with the Human 7, the real Princess Twilight is able to jump through the mirror and explains that she wasn't able to get her messages due to being stuck in a time loop. And it is that one statement that has driven the entire fandom nuts, because holy shit, the leaks of the season finale for season 5 may not have been bullshitting at all.
So
she calls it the most weirdest experience she ever had until she found out there's a counterpart sitting right in front of her.
And that completes her weirdness. I think she probably would resign as a princess now. I think she wants to go back to her library.
I have to say, this would be the perfect setup for that Equestria Girls television series I keep hearing about. Equestria Academy, I think it was.
Everybody's wanting that.
That would be a perfect way to fucking get it going. Just, have with a TV series, have Midnight on the Human 7 be the focus, and have them go through some sort of experiences or whatever. I don't know how it would work, but I'd watch it. I'd give it a watch.
Well, we'll see what happens. But for now, I think you guys need to calm down. I need
times a million.
Yeah, you need to.
Yes.
You need to get something in your system. No. He's no. What he really needs is a nap. He is stirred crazy. He needs to calm down. A nap will help that.
He's got me there. I've said everything that I've had to say. I've had it bottled up since last night, but goddamn it, does it feel good to have gotten it all out. Friendship Games was amazing. I really don't know. Like I said, nothing could I don't think anything could ever top this, and in fact, I don't think anything will. But I'm going to go now. I've said all I had to say. I need to fucking get some water and focus on other things now.
Yeah, now I'm going to have a fucking bitch of an evening. I'm going to have a bitch of an evening.
I'm going to have to try and not go fucking nuts over the Starlight business and try to put it out of my mind until November at the very least.
Is that when the finale is?
I don't know. I mean, we have the leaked Halloween episode premiering on Halloween. There'd only be 5 episodes after that, so I'm going to assume November or early December at the very least. But that's all I have to say. I'm out of here. I'm happy now. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
And goodbye.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
As for